That's hot. How we doing? Dishing up clicks. Family and friends, here we are. Episode 2. So many things have come this week. We've talked and seen about WWE Heroclix Wave 2. We've finally got the Ultra Chase out there. Some people like it. Some people hate it. Hate it or like it, we know what it is now. Get over it. We're going to talk about it. We've seen a bunch of super rares. Some super rares good. Some super rares bad. Some people not too happy with the Mandarin super rare. We'll talk more about that as well. I hope everyone is having a great weekend so far. I've got a long weekend. I will not be working Monday. I am happy about that. Nice long weekend. The fiance not too happy about that. She has to work on Monday, so everyone shed a tear for her. I'm not one bit at all. So let's jump right into. Nope, let's not. Let's talk about our sponsor first. Thank you to Critically. You almost spit up over there. Let's jump right. No, we're not going to do that. Curveball. Critical Hits Customs. Again, for those that have not, stop pointing. I know it's there. I'm reading. We're live. We're having a good time. It's going to be a great weekend. Critical Hits Customs. Go check them out. Aries5 is the promo code. Go check out Aries5. You buy 5 action tokens or bystanders, and there's a lot of bystanders in here. So, 5 bystanders, you get 2 free. Aries5, go hit up Marcus Zillow and the guys. They'll take good care of you. Thank you to Critical Hits Customs. So let's just jump right into the Ultra Chase and stuff. Thank you to comicbook.com. Comicbook.com had the Ultra Chase preview, and they also previewed just a bunch of other stuff, all Captain America basically. So let's just jump right into it. The dog is going nuts. She tripped. Anybody watching? Any comments so far? Nothing? Nada? Awesome. Gonna take another sip of this This tea. Drinking some tea, coconut tea. I called it Tor though. I don't know why.
Oh, you're now down to 3 viewers.
They're dropping it like it's hot. I'm fine with that. That tea is hot as well. So, first thing we had up was the Josiah X Prime. It is a common prime, number 001B. Scientist, soldier, and warrior keywords. This bad boy is 6 clicks deep, 50 points. Very cut and dry, though. Not a whole lot of special abilities. It has 1 special damage power. That's the first 2 clicks. It has Empower. Friendly characters that are adjacent or share a keyword with Josiah X can reduce penetrating damage. Basically, what it boils down to, scientists, soldiers, and warriors, they can all go ahead and they can reduce those penetrating psychic blast and exploit weakness, or if they're adjacent, they can do that. Starts off with a 9 with charge, an 11 that's blank, an 18 with invulnerability, and the 3 damage. Does have Indom, no range on him as well. So 50 points, not bad. Also has a little bit of precision strike on the dial, some close combat expert, things like that, little sidestep. So it's a mixed bag there. So starts off with wowzers. We got a little echo there. Next.
Marcus Villa says, "What's up?"
What's going on, Marcus? Go see him. Aries5 promo code. You buy 5 action tokens or bystanders, get 2 free. You're going to need a bunch of them for this set. We got some stuff coming out in here. Becky Barnes is one of them. We're going to get to that one. So the next one up is number 38. It's a rare. It's Steve Rogers. It's Old Man Steve. He's not even salt and pepper. He's just straight salt. All white on the top. Nice sculpt. Don't mind it. Real name Steve Rogers. He's got the keywords of Avengers, the Howling Commandos, so that's cool. Got the Howling Commandos keyword. We need more of them. We need another Dum Duggan. I just watched Captain America First Avenger the other day. That movie still holds up. I liked it a lot. Not too bad.
Which one is that one?
That's the first one where he's just getting the serum and everything.
Oh, yeah.
He's all scrawny.
I love that one.
I can do this all day. He's all like, Rogers, get up. Come on, get up here. What do we got?
Brandon, is it Bernie?
Spell it?
Beirne.
Sure. Bernie?
Maybe. Says, what is your overall fave figure of the new set so far?
I will get to that, but right now, oh god, there's a lot of good figures. People, Azareth Strife points out something about the Mandarin figure. We'll touch on that here in a little bit. I like the Mandarin figure personally. I've been playing a lot of Mystical. I like the Blade as well. I think the Blade is very awesome. People are going to say, well, it's not as good as Vulture, especially with what this Captain America, Steve Rogers, can do on top of the Ultra Chase Peggy Carter. But I still really enjoy the Ghost Rider chase is really good too. Right now, I'm enjoying the Blade. I'm enjoying Mandarin is probably going to be almost on every single team that I play.
Brandon, what is your favorite figure of the new set so far? Aries likes to talk a lot, but we also want to hear from you guys. Let us know if you have thoughts or opinions on the new set, and I want to know your favorite figure overall so far, Brandon.
So you're saying I got a big mouth? Okay. Yep. We're moving on. Mm-hmm. He also has the Invaders, Shield, and Soldier keywords. He has the Assembled Avengers. We've been seeing that trait for a lot of these Avengers figures. Once per turn, when Steve Rogers hits, after resolutions, you may roll a d6 on a 5 or a 6. If your force has 3 plus friendly characters with the Avengers keywords, remove an action token from Steve Rogers, or give an action token to a hit character if your force has 6 plus. Do both. So, he also has the Living Legend trait. The first time each game Steve Rogers would be KO'd, instead, turn him to his last non-KO click, roll a d6, and heal him equal to half the result, protected pulse wave. So, you're pulse waving him. It's not going to ignore this. First time he'd be KO'd, instead, you put him on his last non-KO click. You roll that d6. Hopefully, you roll high, and you go ahead and you heal him back up, and then you go ahead and you push through again. So, not too bad. This is where you're going to get your money's worth right here, though. He has another trait. We'll take all the help we can get if you're worthy. Leadership. During force construction, you may choose a standard character of 50 points or less. That character loses its printed keywords for the entire game, and then gains either the Avengers or Shield keyword. You choose one. And what a lot of people have said is, oh boy, here we go. Vulture now has the Avengers keyword. And that is 100% true. You can fit a lot of good figures into an Avengers or Shield theme team now. You can go ahead and get Gardner in there. You can go ahead and get Trader in there. You can go ahead and obviously get the Vulture in there. A lot of different figures now, because it's during force construction, can be put into your Shield and your Avengers theme teams. That is pretty awesome. He's only 50 points as well. He starts off, he's got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks. And again, if he gets KO'd for the first time, you heal him back up. So he could technically be 6, 7, 8 clicks deep.
That trait, that new, he loses everything. Is that a newer thing? Obviously, I'm not in the know.
We have seen some before where at the beginning of the game, you get this keyword, but you lose your keywords, things. But this one's big because you can, Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. have always been really prevalent in a lot of the quote-unquote meta. I like to call it competitive play, especially now when you see teams that have Voyager, Medusa, those Alpha Strike teams with Avengers, Giant Girls. You now get this Captain America. Obviously, the Steve Rogers has to be on your team. He's only 50 points. He has the S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers team abilities. He starts top dial with Perplex for 2 clicks, and then 3 clicks he has Outwit. So he's a very good support piece.
Getting a lot for a little.
Basically, yes, and you can squeeze something that maybe people weren't thinking to actually have on an Avengers team. It now opens doors to anything that's 50 points or less, and a lot of things in competitive play right now are 50 points or less. So you're going to be able to get one of those things that's going to make your Avengers or S.H.I.E.L.D. team a little more diverse and or explosive. Not that they needed the help before anyways, but they're going to get it.
So I asked Brandon what his overall favorite figure was, and he hasn't answered me back. However, Brian G says overall, mine is Chase Strange. He said he can't wait for some Nimrod shenanigans.
Oh, God.
With him. And for Sealed, he said I'm running Roz Solomon anytime I pull her. And Marcus also said Oh man, that cap is going to be good.
It's going to be solid.
So many fun options for Avengers. Mr. Oz Avenger. Mr. Oz Avenger?
Mr. Oz is from the Rebirth set. He's like 45 points, I believe. He has like a 12 range.
Oh, wow.
Perplex, prob, outwit thing. I have to look at him. But yeah, Mr. Oz. Huh! I think he can TK as well, so you can just throw. There's so many options. But yeah, what Brian was talking about is the new Strange Chase. If you're within like 4 square, or no, that's Trick Shot. The new Trick Shot I think does that too. You put him with Nimrod within 4 squares. You get like 2 different kinds of rollouts with Nimrod that can be super helpful. So that is the Steve Rogers again. Not very high attack, 10. And then on his last click, he has 9. He's got sidestep the entire dial. Combat reflexes the entire dial. So, getting close, hard to hit. He's basically a support figure, and he's going to be helping out, getting you some more Avengers. Then, of course, we get to... Oh, no, lied. We have Baron Zemo. I forgot about Zemo. Who can forget about Zemo? This is a really good Baron Zemo. He has 2 different traits. He can be played at 65 or 45 points. Top dial on both of those, you get his special foot power and you get his special damage power. We're going to go ahead and read off his keywords. Masters of Evil, Thunderbolts, Martial Artist, and Scientist. Also, he has 2 traits. We shall call ourselves the Thunderbolts. During game setup, when establishing theme teams, you may treat Masters of Evil and Thunderbolts as a single named keyword. So, again, we're seeing more push towards theme teams. You don't have to choose between Masters of Evils and Thunderbolts anymore. You can go ahead and mix those 2 into a nice little mixed bag theme team. They'll count underneath one umbrella for your theme team. So, pretty awesome. On top of that, he has the assembled bolts and masters. Once per turn, when Baron Zemo hits, after resolution, you may roll a d6. If it's a 5 or a 6, if your force has 3+ characters with the Masters of Evil or Thunderbolts keywords, remove an action token from Baron Zemo, or give an action token to the hit character, +6, do both. It's basically the assembled Avengers, but it's just for Masters of Evil and Thunderbolts. Now, his special foot power. You get charge, running shot, and stealth with Zemo. Again, he is 65 or 45 points. He has a 5 range. He does have Indomitable as well. So, right there, you're already getting your money's worth with those 2 traits and the foot power. But on top of that, you also get a special damage power. We will take the place of the Avengers in their hearts. He has leadership and outwit. Also, when Baron Zemo uses leadership and succeeds, you may choose a Marvel team ability that isn't uncopyable. As long as he's on the map, friendly characters with the Masters of Evil or Thunderbolts keywords can use the chosen team ability until he chooses again. That is pretty humongous. You can choose basically any uncopyable Avengers keyword. Avengers keyword. That's an idiotic thing to say. Any Marvel team ability. So, if it's not uncopyable, you want it, you succeed on your leadership, take it. The entire team gets it. That's fantastic. Again, 65 or 45 points, his 65 dial. He's 6 clicks deep. He starts with 11 with Precision Strike and 8 with that special foot power and 18 with Mastermind, which is a pretty awesome. And a 3 damage. If you and Precision Strike, you start him on that 45 click. He has the same exact, basically the same start. 8, 11, 18, 3, all the same powers. He gets down to those last 3 clicks. He goes from having the special foot power and having Precision Strike to having Charge and Blades with an 18 with combat reflexes. So he's almost made to get in close and then just start wheeling and dealing, because he also then has Exploit weakness on his last 2 clicks, and he already has the Masters of Evil team ability. So Baron Zemo is pretty nasty. He's a super rare number 62. What do you got?
Brandon finally.
Brandon's getting back to us?
Said a whole bunch of things that sound so smart. I got no idea what he's saying. He said,
sounds so smart, but I don't even know.
Says, my fave figure is the Immortal Hulk.
Oh.
Really strong alpha striker on a no-die tech team. I'm a sucker for the Thunderbolts and would like to add Red Leader Prime to a team of them before rotation.
Yep.
What the heck is a no-die tech team?
Basically, it's a team that's built to do just that, to not die.
Wow. Okay.
So the Hulk. So basically, what the Hulk does is he's a 100-point figure. Mm-hmm. So you have to kill him essentially 3 times.
Oh, jeez.
You go through his dial once, you score 25 points, and he goes back to the top dial. You go through his dial a second time, you score 25 points, he goes basically back to his top dial. You go through his dial for a third time, you score the extra 50 points of his 100 point. That's why he's called Immortal Hulk.
Damn.
Also, on top of that, he's got stop clicks. So you can't just one-shot him. He's going to get to that stop click, and he's going to obviously stop. Excuse me, unless you have something that blows through a stop click. That's why he's the Immortal Hulk. He's very hard to kill. Now, if you pair him with other things that are super hard to kill, or when they die, like that Steve Rogers we saw, when he dies, you roll a d6, you heal him, he comes back. So if you play something like that, the Corrupt GCPD Cop is another one that when it would KO, you put it, like I think like some sort of a tombstone marker, I think, and then you click it and then it comes back. So that's another figure that you don't score. The old haha Joker was the same way. You would just score when it passes the KO or when it passes the red line, and so on and so forth. So that's basically what it is. You just want to outlast your opponent. You want to take some points and then make sure you outlast the rest of the thing. So yeah, Don't Die Tech is getting some stuff in this too. So then of course we get to the Ultra Chase. Number 75, Peggy Carter. The sculpt is amazing looking. I really enjoy the sculpt. It's not overdone. It's very simple. It's Peggy in the old red, white, and blue. Amber Collins somewhere right now is crying. Big Canadian tears. Because it was like the only figure she wanted, and she was hoping that it wasn't going to be the Ultra Chase. So we're going to pour out a Labatt Blue for Amber Collins tonight.
Rude.
Yeah. She's like, "Hey."
How about we just pour out some maple syrup?
Just, yeah. "Hey, you freaking hoser." So, she has Avengers, Exiles, Howling Commandos, Shield, Past, and Soldier. She has 3 different traits. No special powers. So, her traits, though, are pretty fantastic. She has Living Legend. The first time each game Peggy Carter would be KO'd. Instead, turn her to her last non-KO click. You know what to do. You roll it. She heals half. Protected Pulse Wave. Same thing that Steve Rogers had. So, again, she can also be played at 75 or 50 points as well. She also has a trait that says, when Steve fell, I had to step up. Sideline active. So she can be played from the sideline. When a friendly character named Captain America or Steve Rogers of 50 points or more is KO'd by an opposing character, you may place Peggy Carter from your sideline into that square on her blue starting line, which would be her 50-point line. Then deal her damage equal to the final amount of damage taken by that character minus the damage he was clicked, which is basically the excess damage. So, if he took 4 damage and he clicks 1, 2, 3 KOs, she comes out instead. She takes that 1 click of damage. And yes, her Living Legend trait will still take place as well. So, if you paired her with Steve Rogers, the one that when it would be KO'd, you heal him back up again, and then finally he's KO'd, you can then bring Peggy Carter in, deal her the excess damage, and then when she would be KO'd for the first time, she heals again. So you're getting a 50-point figure that could be, ungodly amounts, 8 to 12 clicks of damage, maybe more, depending on how your dice roll, things like that. She also has one more, which is called Becky Barnes, toughest girl in Brooklyn. When Peggy Carter starts the game, generate a Becky Barnes bystander. You got something for me.
Ryan says, I'm assuming he's speaking of Captain Marvel.
Marvel?
Sorry. She might not make it on my builds, but Captain Marvel is definitely worth attention.
Mm-hmm.
She's solid anti-Q tech.
Yes.
I
Q sucks. The $300 super rare prime.
Oh.
It's, yeah.
Okay, dokie.
So she's good. She's not... Alright, so let me read off her stats and things like that, and then we'll go ahead and go into the debate, because everyone either loved her, hated her, yada, yada, yada. So, good old Becky Barnes, she comes out, she's got a 4 range, 8 with sidestep, and 11 attack, 18 with combat reflexes, and she's indomitable, which is amazing for a Pog, and she's got close combat expert as well. So you get a Pog at the start of the game that, with an 11 attack, if you're hitting something that is manageable, you're going to dump both of that close combat expert right into the damage. So now you have a Pog that's got an 18 with combat reflexes, sidestep, and can deal 4 damage. And someone has to hit a 20. I mean, obviously, outwit, they're going to pump up their attack value, so on and so forth. But also, on top of that, we also have... So, if you're playing Peggy Carter at her top dial, she's 7 clicks to KO. She starts with a 9 with charge, a 12 with precision strike, a 19 with defend, and she's got 4 damage with leadership, and she's indomitable with a 5 range. So that's nothing to shake a stick at. Couple perplexes to bump up her defense. People are going to have to hit potentially, I don't know, 21, 20, 22 if you really want to push it. And then defend, everybody that's surrounding her is going to have a 19 defense on top of whatever she has, whatever they have. So you always replace and modify. So, again, if she is hanging out next to Becky Barnes already has a 21 in close. Because you replace 19, modify for the combat reflexes, 21. On top of that, her entire dial is charge. So she's always moving and attacking. She does gain some Quake down there. She has an 18 defense for the almost entire dial until her last click, where she has a 17 with combat reflexes. She gets support towards the end. She has some Empower on there. Both starting lines, you get leadership. So, I mean, like I just pointed out, you pair her with the right Captain America, and if she's even on the sideline, she's gonna be good. Now, everybody is so used to the Ultra Chase Thanos right now, where not only is it Thanos and people want to collect them and everything, and not to mention it's a pretty fantastic dial. It really hasn't won anything. I mean, it's still always kicking around, but Peggy Carter's not bad. She's gonna take a little finesse to play. She shouldn't just be like, oh god, I can't just, it's not huge, this, and that. Also, everyone wants to complain about power creep. Where was everyone complaining about the power creep when we got Avengers, Black Panther, Illuminati set? Like, that set is just, in my opinion, is way stronger than this set. This set does have some strong elements, but Black Panther, Illuminati was absolutely nuts. So, of course, also... Okay, I think my pen just died. Son of a... No,
you can literally plug it right into the side there.
Yeah, that might break stuff. So, we did get our...
Sorry, but that was such a first world problem right there.
I know. Oh, my Apple Pencil just died.
My finger.
Sorry. I have to use my stupid fingers. We did get a little sneak peek of the Wave 2 from the WWE Heroclix as well, before we jump in to some other previews that we had of the Captain America and the Avengers set. Biggest shocker for me, Hulk Hogan. Anybody who's a WWE fan, you probably know of some of the issues and things that have surrounded Hulk Hogan and all the controversies of he had a very let's just say racy film of his leak out. He did end up winning a lawsuit against that. He may have said some things that were captured that were not the greatest look for him. I'm surprised he made the cut. I thought maybe they would have, waited a little bit. But again, I guess I understand because it's Hulk Hogan. He's decades worth of stuff you can see of his. We're getting The Fiend, which is, I guess it's not super surprising to me because The Fiend is probably the most over person on WWE television right now. Everything that he does is outstanding. We're getting a Seth Rollins. We're getting a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which I think is awesome. The sculpt looks fantastic. I can't wait to be able to at least display him and Macho Man in the same ring, as they had some of the best wrestling matches of all time, in my opinion. That Intercontinental Championship match they had at WrestleMania was fantastic. What else did we get? We're getting Finn Balor, the Demon. We're getting a Mankind standalone, that not from the Rock and Sock starter pack. We're getting a Bret Hart that does not look like Bret Hart. He looks all kind of weird in the face. They should have thrown the sunglasses on him. Maybe we see a variant of him sooner rather than later with those glasses on. We're seeing Randy Orton that looks like Austin Aries, in my opinion. And a bunch of other different figures. So far, Wave 1 is looking a lot better. We also had the New Day in there. I thought that maybe they should have been grouped together in like a starter pack. Either they'll sell like hotcakes or they'll sell to the fans that really enjoy the New Day, in my opinion. Becky Lynch, Bayley. I think Wave 1 was a little stronger, but we'll have to see once everything and all the dust settles and things like that. But there are a good handful. We'll have to see what the dials look like, too. Always the dials. But I think, we'll have to see what it does. But I liked Wave 1 a lot more than Wave 2 so far. I think there's going to have to be some things that come out, some other starters possibly that come out with some maps or something like that are going to drive me to really want to grab up some of these. What do you got?
Brandon says, I believe people are overlooking Arno Stark as a possible colossal killer. Get to the middle of the map and go to town. One shot complete, wipe on the big boys.
Just about to get to those previews now, because I think you are correct. Arno Stark, I'm surprised he's not unique. That's just my take on it. So let's just go ahead and just dive right into Arno Stark first then. I was going to start off with the War Machine Prime, which is actually the Punisher Prime. So Arno Stark, as pointed out, can be 90 or 60 points, 8 range, 55. It's super rare. It's pretty fantastic. Stark Industries armor and future keywords. We have a special flight ability, special movement ability, and a special defense power as well. So he has stabilizing armor for missile array. Sidestep. At the beginning of your turn, you may choose that until your next turn, Arno Stark has immobile. If you do, until your next turn, he has a range value of 12. Improved targeting, characters, elevation, hindering, and it looks like outdoor blocking. And also has range. Make a range attack. When Arno Stark does, all opposing characters within range and line of fire become targets, and each hit target is dealt 1 penetrating damage instead of normal damage. This is amazing. So basically, you can choose that he's immobile, he doesn't move, his 8 range becomes a 12 range, and then gains a power range, and he can target everybody within that range, and they all take 1 penetrating. What people are overlooking, maybe, or if they aren't, I haven't really heard a lot about it, is the fact that you can go ahead and make him immobile, get that 12 range and all those improved targeting abilities, and then just make a normal attack as well. So you'll be able to outwit somebody from 12, and you'd be able to just try and hit them with an 11 attack value and a 4 damage. So that right there in itself is pretty amazing for 90 points. Also can be played at 60 points. You have a 10 attack instead and 3 damage, but that's not nothing to look at and pass over. On top of that, and this is where I think he stands out the most, is the longevity you're going to get out of Arno Stark. He has MMXX armor. He gets invincible. And when Arno Stark would take damage from an attack, you may roll a d6, and on a 5 or a 6, he takes no damage instead. So basically, this is our first look at something that is almost like an invincible and an impervious combined. 18 defense for the first 3 clicks, 17 defense for the last 3 clicks. Energy explosion for the first 4. He also has that special movement power for those 4 clicks as well. Last 2, he gains Earthbound Neutralized, is Indomitable as well. Some Impervious and Perplex on the back end as well. I mean, not enough good things to say about a 60-point figure that can shoot halfway across the map.
Marcus said Arno also gets by the WWE range attack protection. And Brian said, nifty thing with Arno, give him Pulse Wave. The 12 range gets him from his special. The 12 range he gets from his special is a replacement value.
It sure is.
Same as Pulse Wave's half range. You can apply half before applying the 12. And Brian says Pulse Wave from 12 away. That's a lot of things. That's a lot of math.
Basically, well, no, it's when you look at, remember I was saying replace, modify, whatever. This right here is getting around that. So you get that Pulse Wave from 12 squares away. So you're just nuking the entire map if you can get Pulse Wave on him. So a lot of little things you can do with Arno there. We're going to jump right over to the Super Rare Prime, which is the Punisher War Machine. And I'm not going to lie, I pooped a little bit when I saw it. And because the sculpt is beautiful. Again, if you haven't seen them, you can go ahead and check them out on the Dishing Up Clicks Facebook page. They're all there. That's where I am pulling this information from right now. And this Punisher War Machine is pretty fantastic sculpt-wise. Oh my goodness. So Frank Castle, I don't have it. The sculpt. This is the way to reuse sculpts, in my opinion. I'm a very big mouth when it comes to reusing sculpts. I understand why WizKids reuses sculpts. You're saving your bottom line. You're saving us money by saving yourself money, because if not, you'd have to jack up prices. And I get that. I'm just from the old school that when we saw sets like Galactic Guardians and Incredible Hulk, where you would see the same exact sculpt in the set 4 times, and there'd be no difference of the sculpt. It would just be a green Hulk and a green Hulk, and they'd be the same exact sculpt, and you'd have to dig through. If you're going to change the paint job up or something like that and use the same sculpt, I'm cool with that. I understand that. And this is how you do it, by putting out an amazing-looking Punisher War Machine sculpt that's going off of just the War Machine sculpt. So he has improved targeting, hindering terrain, so you're not hiding from him. Marvel Knight's shield, armor, and soldier keywords. He has 90 or 65 starting line, and he also has a special trait, or if you add 5 points, you get the man inside is the real machine. During force construction, you may include a character named Punisher of 75 points or less on your sideline. When Punisher War Machine would be KO'd, instead replace him with that Punisher on its last non-KO click, then roll a d6 and heal that Punisher half the result. This game, that Punisher can't be healed any other way, protected Pulse Wave. So again, we're seeing something that we've seen in some of these other figures where it would be KO'd. Instead, you put it on its last non-KO click, you roll a die, and you heal it that half. This is kind of what Brandon was talking about with that don't die tech. It's playing stuff like this, stuff that's really hard to kill, and when you do finally kill it, it just comes back anyways. So if you can outlast and you can chew through a team, you're good to go. His other trait is the war never ends, colossal stamina. So he can just keep attacking and keep attacking and keep coming at you. If Punisher War Machine has 2 action tokens, he has free make an attack. So if you get him to those 2 actions, so you push to make an attack, you get your second action token, you then can go free and make an attack as well. Next turn, you can Colossal Stamina, make an attack, and then free, make an attack again. So he just keeps attacking over and over and over, and you get the point. He then has a special attack power called Just Need to Light the Fuse, Energy Explosion, Knockback. He then also has a special damage power. If you were scared of the Punisher before, Perplex, but only to target opposing characters. So, perplexing down that defense value, or that attack value, most likely, and then just smashing you. 90 point value, he starts with a 10 with running shot, with 7 range and 2 targets. A 12 attack with that special attack power, an 18 with invincible, and he has indomitable, and he's dealing 4 damage. He also has the shield team ability as well. If you start him on that 60 point dial, it's 9 with running shot, and 11 with that special attack power, an 18 with invincible, and a 3 damage with that special damage power. Playing him at top dial, 6 clicks deep, 4 clicks deep at a 60 point dial. Pretty awesome for a super rare prime. Lastly, the last thing we're going to talk about this evening, we've already talked enough, and I just wanted to post something up because we got a lot of information this week, is another super rare, and I think she's going to be a big-time player. Of course, I'm talking about Captain Marvel. Yes, she also generates a Pog called Chewie. It's a cat. Could be a Flurkin. Could be a Flarkin. Says right on there. Also, critical hits customs. Ares 5. Buy 5 action tokens or Bystander Tokens. Get 2 free. Hit up Marcusilla and those guys. So.
Thank you, Marcus.
The Pog is Chewie. It has a special foot power. Says maybe it is a Flurkin. It has Flurry, Plasticity, and Giant Reach too. This is, again, we're seeing some Pogs in this set that are nuts. 6 movement with that power. A 10 with Blades, Claws, Fangs. A 17 with Super Senses. And a 1 damage with Perplex, and it's tiny sized. So the Flurkin is doing some work. Now we get into Captain Marvel herself. She can be played at 2 point values, 150 and 95. She has that assembled Avengers trait, which, when she hits the 5 or a 6, she can go ahead and remove an action token from herself or put one on someone or do both if it's a 6+ Avengers theme team. She also has the Alpha Flight Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Kree, Cosmic, and Soldier keywords. So she's got a bunch of good keywords out there that she can use. Her next trait is My Cat is Not a Flurkin. Free, once per game, generate the Chewie Bystander. That cat is a Flurkin, by the way. That cat is 100% a Flurkin.
Kenji says a special foot power?
A special foot power! I fucking hate you, Kenji.
No, you don't. Kenji, we love you so much.
Movement power. Sorry, Kenji. A special movement power. I'm about to be moving you to the porch the next time you decide you want to come
never.
crash.
I wouldn't let that happen.
Foot power. I hate you so much, Kenji. She also has a special movement power and a special defense power. Her special movement power is called Higher. Hypersonic Speed. When Captain Marvel uses it after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to an opposing character she moved through. If that character is a vehicle, deal it 3 penetrating damage instead. So, we've got ourselves a flying Avenger / Cosmic Shredder is basically what it boils down to. She can hypersonic speed. After resolution, she can deal 1 penetrating damage to an opposing character she moved through. So we basically have ourselves a flying Shredder now. She also then has special defense power, keep standing up, stop, invincible. Captain Marvel has protected, outwit. It's the big protected as well, so it means the entire dial at that point is protected. What do we have? What snarkiness does Kenji have for me now?
Kenji said, I can't wait to sit across the table from you and ask, can you tell me what foot powers your character can use? But then
I would just throw it at you and say, you can just look at the back and the front of this card now.
Marcus said, we have great pogs in the set. The Captain Marvel is so good. She's playable at both point values, and I love the special foot power hypersonic. Brian said Ares has a thing for feet. Don't judge.
Yeah, man, everyone's got their thing, all right? Everyone's got their kink. Are you kink shaming me for having special foot powers?
And Marcus said that he loved that ping damage.
Ping damage, it's coming back somewhere. What's his face there? The kid who can't ship. Micah Love is doing a cartwheel. There you go. The kid who can't ship. I love that you knew who it was, too. You were like, I know who that is, too. I just can't. Oh, yeah. He sends stuff in.
I couldn't remember his name.
He sends stuff in bags. Micah's doing better, though. He's got some tutelage. So, again, 150 or 95. She has flight. She's got a 7 range. She's indomitable. Top dial. She's 9 clicks deep with 3 stop clicks. 12 movement, 12 attack, 18 with impervious, 4 with probability control. If you're starting her on a 95 point dial, 10 with the special movement of power, 11, 18 with invulnerability, 3 with that probability control, and again, 2 stop clicks on the lower power, on the lower point level at 95 points. Yeah. She's going to definitely see some play, especially with that special movement power, which is basically making her an Avenger Shredder. So with all the Avengers that we're seeing more and more, I think we're going to see a little more than just the Voyager Medusa combo with some Colossal Retaliators and things like that, on top of having the Hulk and so many more in this set. This set right now is turning out to be a really, 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 really good one. It's not Avengers, Black Panther, Illuminati, in my opinion, where it was very, very strong. We saw that set, shape and redefine our competitive play. Trader, Kobik, Gardner, Astronomer, so many more. This, I think, is going to be the yin to the yang of that set, where it's going to give us more opportunities and more avenues to play certain things and to counter and or balance, I guess, competitive play again. But again, we won't see that until pre-releases start, which actually are starting next week. So again, this set pre-releases, I believe, start on January 22nd, and the major release is February 5th, a day after this very special day to me. It happens to be my birthday. So that's what we have. February 5th is the release date. WizKids Opens will be starting that weekend as well. And thank you again to Sarges Comics, another one of our sponsors, as we will be hosting the WizKids Open on February 9th here in New London, Connecticut. Amtrak station is right down the street from them, literally a block away. So if you need to get here, you can get here. Plenty of parking. Great place. Come on down. Love to have you. Plenty of parking. Come on down. Love to have you. Love to have you.
Kenji.
Ugh.
The kid who can't ship. Wow.
The kid who can't ship. That big tall kid. He can't ship nothing. What the hell's his name? Yeah, Michael Love. There you go.
3 stop clicks for 150. And that power set is pretty crazy. She's the real deal.
Who is that?
Kenji.
Right now, Ted is like, no, she's not. She's in the booty bin. Ted doesn't like her. All right. That's it. That's it for me. We're wrapping this up. We're calling it a night. Check out Critical Hits Customs, Ares 5. Get yourself some bystanders. Thank you to Sarges as well as one of our sponsors. Thank you to everybody that stopped by to have a conversation with us. We appreciate that. As always, check us out on Dishing Up Clicks on Facebook. You can always reach us at dishingupclicks@gmail.com as well. If you have questions, you can always message us, email us, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Did you hit the end?